I am Julie Gavilla, goalkeeper for the Matthew 25 goal of increasing mission engagement in the community. And I'm excited about the ways that we are engaging in our community with 41 different agencies around our area and also in Massachusetts. Shout out Cindy Shumway, and also Monmouth College, go Colby. So we are actively engaged in a number of different agencies, but there are so many other ways that we can be engaged. And some of you are saying, but I don't have time. And you know what? I hear you and I understand that, but I want us to really look at that and think about how much time we might have. It might be a few minutes a week. It might be more than we think that we have. So there is a tithing time worksheet in your bulletin. If you are joining us on Zoom and you didn't print that out, just grab a piece of paper and a pen. Here in the sanctuary, there are well-sharpened pencils in the pews, so if you would just grab one of those. This is a tool that I hope you'll take with you and use week after week, because the amount of time that we have available often changes. So we can do this week by week. I do, to see what amount of time I have to give. Who can fill this out? Anybody. Anybody can do this. Now, younger people, especially very young people who have trouble with math and reading, they might need some assistance. But even our littlest people can help with mission in the community in a variety of ways. And if you are not getting out and about these days, guess what? Someone in our community said to me recently, you know, I can't do the things I used to do, but you know what I can do? I can make a phone call. God bless her. I can make a phone call to somebody who is homebound. That is mission in the community, and we appreciate it and value it, and we are so thankful. So anybody here can be filling this out. So let's get to the what. Let's do this worksheet. At the beginning, at the top of the worksheet, you see 168 hours in a week. Everybody has that. That's where we start. That's the only place we're all going to have the same number. But 168 hours in a week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I want you to calculate the number of hours you need to sleep in a week. Is it 8 hours a night? Is it 7 hours a night? Is it 10 hours a night? Please be reasonable about how much you need to be healthy. Don't say 4 hours a night. You need more than that. In order to give of yourself to other people, you have to take care of yourself. Write that total, 7 days a week times the number of hours per night. Write that in that next line and subtract it from your 168 hours. Now you have a new subtotal. How many hours do you spend a week at school or at work? That's going to be different for everybody. Maybe you don't go to school, maybe you are retired, so maybe you don't have any hours to put there. Oh, great, a big fat zero is awesome, it opens up more hours. But if you have a lot of hours, write those down. Subtract. And now you have a new subtotal. Now, if you are going to school or work, you have a commute. Unless you're doing it, even if you have a commute from the bedroom to the office, it's probably not a long commute, but most of us have a commute from point A to point B. So calculate that for the week, write it down in the next line, subtract it, and now you have a new subtotal. How many hours a week do you need for housework or yard work? That's going to vary, right, from summer to winter. That's why this tool is really helpful to keep on hand so that you can do it week by week. Subtract the hours spent on housework or yard work, and now you have a new subtotal. How many hours a week do you spend on meals? Some of you cook those meals. Some of you clean up those meals. Some of you, I'm looking at you, Dad, just eat those meals. But some of you do all the things. So calculate that. How long does it take you to fix the meal, eat the meal, clean up the meal? And there's, 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day, 4 meals a day. 7 days a week? Write that total for the week in your next line, subtract, and you have a new subtotal. How many hours do you need for health and hygiene? 168. George Humbert, I love you. Subtract your health and hygiene hours for the week. I mean, that includes exercising, showering, whatever needs to go in that line. Doctor's appointments. Subtract that total and you have a new subtotal. How many hours a week do you spend in caregiving? Is there someone you're taking care of that you are responsible for? Is it your small children who are growing up? Is it your adult parents who need some assistance? How many hours a week are you spending on caregiving? Write that in the next line. Subtract it for your new subtotal. And the next line is for worship. You know what? This is a necessity. This is not an extra thing that we do if we have time. Worship is about being together in community. It is about praising God. It is about having our hearts transformed. It is about learning salvation history. This is an important place to be. So write that down as one of your important things to do during the week. How many hours are spent in worship? Add your commute to and from here, and then subtract for your final subtotal. Now, just shout out. We're going to do this popcorn style. How many hours do you have left? 40. Who else? 35. 84. And I know who that came from. There's no way. She did not do math well. I don't buy it. 23. Okay, 23. So now take 10% of that. 4, 2.3, 8.4. Take 10% of those final hours. In the Bible, it talks about tithing money. As a tithe is 10%. But money is not all we give. We also give our time. And if we were to tithe 10% of that amount of time that we have in our final subtotal to the church, to the organizations that you named that you're engaged with, and if you are still looking for a place, I send out a weekly email that says, here are the organizations that we are currently engaged with, that I have information from, that's growing. Here's what they need. You can check that email, and if you're not getting it, let me know you want it. I'll make sure to add you to the list. And you can just read through, and it changes from week to week. So read through and see who needs what, where their gifts and skills that are needed meet the gifts and skills that you have, so that you can find a place that you can plug in and use those hours that you have to give to help in the community. Imagine what a difference we could make in the world if every person in this congregation, here and on Zoom, gave 10% of their hours to tithe in mission. Why do we do that? Because God has called us to love one another. And God has given us an example in Jesus Christ how to do that. And also in the members of this congregation who are doing it every day, every week, every month, every year. And in the words of the late Naomi and her daughter, Winona Judd, love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?